So, good evening, everyone. Let me just swap over the screen, and there you are. So, hi, everyone. Nice of you to join me, especially the Americans that are in. Happy Independence Day over there. It's red hot outside this evening here in the UK. So struggling to keep cooling down. I have seen some of your questions already, so I will get over to those in a moment. Once I get rid of everything I need to do, and we can go from there. I have my trusted drawing board for you. But hopefully you can all hear me and everything's okay. Visuals are good. I can see the visuals are right. Audio is always a little bit questionable, so maybe one of you can pop it in. Hi Charlie, hope you are good. Yep, I'm good. So let me get these out of the way. So Zoom class, for those of you that have been looking at Zoom or doing Zoom and all that kind of stuff with Zoom, there is a 2.5 hour circle class on July the 11th. That is down to the last 8 places. And then there is the one that I'm really, I look forward to them all, but the one I really look forward to is on August the 4th, which is a full day workshop. So that is UK time 1:30 to 9:30. August the 4th, there is 12 spaces left. For all information, go to the website mediumcharliekelly.co.uk, where all the info goes first. That's the first place that you want to be going to, is mediumcharliekelly.co.uk. And Facebook, obviously the page gets a lot there as well. Me and admin have a hard time keeping up with that on there. Mainly admin, really. I just have to deal with the odd bit. Carol deals with most of it on the other hand. So I will slowly make my way through your questions. As normal, there is a feature for super chat, but as I said, PayPal does work better and I get all proceeds. So if anyone did want to donate to the channel, my recommendation is PayPal, which the email address can be plonked into the comment box there for you. And I get all the proceeds of that if you do it via PayPal, whereas YouTube take their cut on that. I just recently got the lens for the new camera. I'm just waiting for the sunglasses now to turn up. That should be here Monday. I have already done some recording. Hopefully some of you have seen the videos that have been going out. And I have challenged myself to a new one tomorrow. I'm just finishing up the edit, but I had the live feed to do, and that'll be released tomorrow. But it challenged my video editing skills to the absolute limit. So I'm nervous about that one going out, actually. Really nervous. So if there's any good ideas that come in from this, or I think a video can be done from the live chat down the side there, down the side there. I've got a little book for the videos that have to be created, and I score them off as I do them. So thank you for joining me on the live feed. It's great to see you on. I didn't think there would be many on here this evening, but you surprised me again. You always do, so it's nice. I enjoy it when you hit me with the questions, etc. I'll go through them as quickly as I can. I'm here for as long as you want me here. It can be a couple of hours, it can be 20 minutes. It's entirely up to you. If the questions keep coming in, then I'll answer them, and I'll go up to about a couple of hours. I've got no problems doing that. I will just need to stop from time to time to take on some fluids because of the warm evening that we're having here. So everyone's saying hi. So Oliver says, hi Charlie, I saw you at the Spiritualist rally in Ware. That was on Good Friday, wasn't it? Recently, and just wanted to say that I thought you were awesome. So very kind of you, Oliver. I wish I'd read that comment before I read it out, because that feels awkward. But thank you for the kind words. It's very kind of you. Lorraine, good evening, Lorraine. Good morning, evening, Charlie and everyone. Okay, so Oliver again, let me read this one first. Oh yeah, this one is the question. So when you are trying to link to the spirit, How it's quite simple, Oliver. So here we go. Let me. I ain't brought my mouse over. That's a massive error by me. So let me swap camera so I can see what I'm doing on the board. The way that I deal with that problem, Oliver, is that I'm just drawing it. Hold on. Just so you know. And you can get this on replay, can't you? If you can't keep up, you can go back and rewatch it. The joys of YouTube, eh? So there's my medium. There's my medium there. And whenever I'm in that zone, whatever is coming into my head, I will speak, and I know from the spirit world. Whenever I'm out of gear, so closed down to spirit, which I don't go through a mechanic, I'm just being normal. Whatever's in here at that point is just me and my insane thoughts. The moment I step on a platform, the moment my intent goes to the spirit world, the moment I'm in circle or about to conduct a reading, whatever it is that involves the spirit world, when my intent moves there, I become the medium, and whatever comes into my mind, I will speak. And it's correct. I don't mean that to sound arrogant or egotistical. It just, no, it is what it is. So just drops a black pen down my light grey trousers. Perfect. So it's a very simple answer there, Oliver. I wish I could make it more in depth. I probably could if I had time to sort of create a video for you, but in simplicity, that's it. That's it's as hard as you want to make it. When I'm working, it's there. When I'm not, then I disregard anything that goes on. I put it down to imagination. There is a video on the YouTube channel called Imagination. If you just jump over there, subscribe if you aren't already, and you'll find it in the backlog of videos. It's called Imagination. That should help you. So Cheryl Flint says, when I meditate, sometimes I can speak with my guide easily, and others nothing. And maybe then, Cheryl, it's just one of those things where you're looking for conversation, or you're looking for a visual, or, you know, all of those things. We go in almost with a preconceived idea, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what they're working on, or maybe even healing is being conducted. So I wouldn't just search one place while in meditation. If you're sitting with intent for the guide, to have the conversation, that's actually not meditation. That's what people would call sitting in your own power. Once you're sitting in your power, in your zone, in that space, whatever terminology we want there, we've got 5 apertures of senses that we use. And I would look across all 5 rather than just as a visual or as an audible. Look for the sensitivity, smells, the taste, that sort of thing going on. And you'll find that there's a lot more going on than you're just missing from a visual aspect or an audible aspect. So maybe try with an open mind, and try and understand why, if there is nothing going on, is it potentially a healing, or an opening up, consciousness moment? You know, maybe you're being educated in another way. I doubt very much that when you're sitting in your power with the intent for the spirit world, that nothing is going on. It's just your sensitivity is not picking it up. So just open your mind a little bit. Without that sounding rude, I don't mean it to, but that just look somewhere else and you'll find it very, very easy there. So, Lorraine, good question, Oliver. Miss Responsibility is, what advice would you give to mediums how better to enjoy their development and try to get there, and try not to get there too hard or too quick? It's actually a video idea that I have wrote down. Miss Responsibility. I nearly used your real name there. But I will do it from that angle because it's I can come in again. but I will answer it now. Okay, so what I am immediately drawn to is that I've met lots of people that kind of get caught right up in the trying to be good, trying to get there, trying to be quick. You know, I actually I've had mediums call me up on my mobile, and they'll be like, "Can I have your contacts in Switzerland or in Italy, or you know, where all these places that I travel, and just because I want to work there." And I'm kind of like, no, it don't work like that. You can't do it like that. Everything has to be word of mouth. But the problem is, it's they see the travel, or they see you smiling in a photo, or working with students, and what looks like you're having a great time. But actually, it's a lot of hard work. It's a tremendous amount of work. You know, a lot of my workshops are 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Residential and private workshops that I do. And so it's a long day. It's a really long day. And so if I'm in Geneva and I'm working from 10 till 9, I actually don't see any of Geneva. I see one room of Geneva. Then I get on a train. I go back to the place that I'm staying. I don't actually get to see Geneva. So it's like a bit of a misconception that goes on there. But a lot of mediums are trying to make it. They're trying to be famous for it. And it's the wrong attitude. It's something I've lived by for a number of years now. It's not. Do not make it about money. Definitely don't make it about money. If your motivation changes, your mediumship changes. And my motivation is always to show the people that there is a spirit world there. Evidentially try and do that. By trying to do mediumship, you actually stop it from happening. Mediumship is an allowance of an expansion of consciousness. So the more you allow, the more can happen. The more you try, the more you hold yourself up. And that almost sounds contradictory. I appreciate that, but that's the actual fact of that. By trying to get there quick, you miss vital lessons. It may be that you're good at holding evidence, you're good at holding a link, and you've got a good solid foundation to your mediumship. But then everything fall apart when you do a public event that's a little bit bigger than you're used to, and you get someone that's drunk or a heckler come in and completely destroy your confidence. Equally with a client that comes in and just says no for the sake of saying no. When that could have been taught in a classroom, or deliberately taught in a way that you can work your way, hold your link, hold your power, hold the communication. But because you're trying to get there too quick, it kind of all falls flat on its face. And a lot of people end up walking away or giving up at that point. So it's actually every lesson, whether it be good or bad, in a positive or negative way, every lesson holds so much value. And when I look back at some of the lessons that I had, it was like, I can smile about it now because I absolutely see why I went through that scenario, or what had happened. And I wanted it to be fast, and I wanted it to be quick like everybody else. But the more and more I'd done it, the more and more I realized that I need to stop wishing time away, stop trying to better it, when I should just embrace the relationship that I have with the spirit world. And through embracing that, I found that the connection was stronger. I found the evidence was deeper. I enjoyed it more. When I stopped looking ahead, I lived more in the present. So I would absolutely recommend that take each day as it is. Not all negatives stay negative. Like I can see now, years on, some of those negatives are my absolute turning stones within my mediumship. So don't rush. Enjoy every class. Enjoy every new hurdle or new idea. Embrace it. Check your philosophy constantly, because someone will find a chink in that armor, and they will just keep picking at it until you find a way to answer them. So enjoy it, really enjoy it. So what a wonderful question. Thank you for forgetting about this. You can do a PayPal or a super chat on here, and you will just immediately go to the top but you haven't got to, because I will get to it. It's just for you if you become impatient. So Lorraine, I seem to get a lot of messages that are in my dream state that are very vivid, and they are from my loved ones. Is this a real visitation? Absolutely, Lorraine. I need a bigger monitor. You know, I'm starting to squint a lot. I'm getting old. So this drawing just gets worse. I better. Oh, he looks angry. It's oh, that looks angry, doesn't it? Better not. Give him an eyebrow. Give him some hair. Oh, that looks terrible. He looks like a thug. So the mind. I'm just drawing it out for you. So the mind, as we, if I do that as sleep. So as our, oh, this is getting on my nerves. Let me swap cameras. Okay, so who asked that? It was Lorraine, wasn't it? So there. Oh, he looks really angry, didn't he? I'm going to take his mouth away. Let's make him smiley. That's a little bit better. Still looks terrible. Anyway, so what happens is your mind sits here. This is very active, and as we go around through the altered states and we go to sleep, at this point down here, we shut down logic and judgment. So what happens is the spirit world can penetrate the mind much more freely, much easier, without you going, is this real, ain't it real, are you really there, if you're really there then tell me this or show me that. You don't do that when you're down there, because your logic and your judgment are silenced. So for me, that's absolutely a visitation for you. I would say they're very real, and if they make you feel good and hold value, then absolutely, I would definitely take that as a real visitation. Absolutely. So Jojo WXYZ. I'm just going to call you Jojo because that's going to get annoying if you've asked loads. There is no question. So no questions at the moment, but I just wanted to say how much I enjoy your videos. You keep it so simple, and that is what I have been saying it should be like for years. Thank you for a wonderful comment. It's the approach of the channel. It's the point of the channel. I've spent thousands of pounds that I didn't have, and realizing that people were making themselves a little bit special and putting themselves on a little bit of a pedestal. If I could show you the inboxes that I get on Facebook or on email, absolutely trying to destroy my confidence or my ability for the videos that I put out there, because I'm taking it away from someone else. You would be horrified, absolutely horrified. But I do feel very strongly. I know the channel's not big right now, I know that. But I nick a sub here and there every day. And sometimes I lose one or two every day because I say the wrong thing or I offend them in some way. But it's, you know, there's over 1,000 people that enjoy the channel. And so I do it for those, you know, and if one day that's 10,000 people, 100,000 people, then that is absolutely awesome. But they are the people that have a go at me, threaten me, you know, say bad things and all that kind of stuff are very threatened by the channel because of because I break it down in a simplistic way. And it really is the spirit world. As far back as Maurice Barbanel, so you're going back to like 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. That whole period there of Silver Birch and the philosophy, and the message from Silver Birch and Red Cloud continuously was simplicity. And we do everything we can to make it mine. It belongs to me. And you have to pay me to have a piece of it, but you will never actually get the carrot that I'm dangling. Whereas I'm giving you the carrot, have the box, have it. Because if you know, and hopefully you go away and you tell someone and you teach someone, you show them the simplicity, then hopefully over time we can eliminate the charlatans, eliminate the poor quality, eliminate this idea of skepticism. We can maybe promote it in a much more positive way without having to light a josh stick and in for an hour and wearing spiritual clothes and talking very patronizing down a camera to you. So I jumped on here just before my phone beeped with 5 superpowers that an empath possesses, and I mean, it's things like that it infuriates me. But people fall for it, and while they fall for it, and why they send those channels money and support those channels, them channels are of course going to do that. So someone has to have a voice from the other angle and show you that you haven't got to be an empath to hold superpower. You can just be a regular Joe with a functioning mind, and you can communicate with the spirit world, which I deem a superpower. So thanks for the comment, Jojo. So Miss Responsibility says, this does my head in. Do you think, even though some mediums are delivering evidence that it is possible that they are not feeling spirit, some mediums appear not to enjoy linking to the spirit as much as I do? Absolutely. A lot of mediums will rely heavily on clairvoyance. And it usually splits into two. You know, you have got the other ones there. I know that, but a lot of them will rely on the seeing aspect, so the clairvoyance. Apologies. And a lot of other mediums will say, "I don't see a thing. I just feel I'm a sentient. I'm a clairsentient," and so they don't even look for the picture. They don't even look for the visual or anything. They don't look anywhere else other than their stock clair, because we've all got a stock clair, you know, like we might be really good at seeing or feeling. So it sounds to me like you're very much in the sentient part of your mediumship there, Miss Responsibility, which is a great thing. And maybe some of them don't enjoy it as much as you do. Maybe you have a sense of freedom. For me, I've always said, like, I'm there more than I am in the physical. So it's like going home for me, and so when I go there, I'm very free with it, and I love it, and I enjoy it. But I also realised that I can work this in a much better way. So in the early stages, I was heavily clairvoyant, but I wanted to back that up with a picture. Not a picture, a feeling. I wanted to back the picture I was receiving. I wanted to back it up with a sensitivity that would come with that. And the idea behind that was that if I gave you, or I picked up a cup of coffee, which I don't have a cup here, but if I had a cup of coffee, you don't know from the visual whether it's even coffee. You know, it might be just like a milky looking drink. But you won't know if that coffee's hot or cold. You would have to taste it or feel it in your mouth. So that would give you the temperature. Maybe it's ice cold, maybe it's boiling hot. You won't know if it's got sugar in it. The picture won't show you that it's got sugar in it. And I realised this very early on in my mediumship, that there are some visuals that just lack detail. And those details, a majority of the time, can be filled in with the sensitivity, that sentient part of me. So I would look that every time I connected to the spirit world, although I saw the man, I would want to feel the man. And then through that, I got a real sense of the personality and wearing them close. So that is something that I do. I know how many people put themselves under pressure, and they're trying to do it. They're trying to look good. They don't want to get it wrong. They don't want to look an idiot. I get that, but they have to understand those people, because you will never forget that feeling. And through that moment, then you start to see those mediums enjoying their work a little bit more. So you know, everyone should be enjoying it. I think maybe even now, even today, I still absolutely love what I do. But it's my everyday, so I'm probably a little bit guilty of becoming a little bit blasé with it, which I have to double check myself quite a lot. But yeah, keep enjoying it, Miss Responsibility. Thanks for the question. So Patricia, so excited to see you live, and welcome to the live feed, Patricia. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Charlie. Hope you are good. I am very good at the moment. I've had a bit of an epic day today. I've been recording today, and I'm a little bit nervous about putting it out there. The video that I've done tomorrow. The video's ready. It's ready to go. It's just got to be uploaded. But it was hard. It was what I was a little bit too ambitious. I had an idea. Then Carol kind of supported the idea and was like, do it, give it a go. I think you can do it. And so I done it, and I'm a little bit apprehensive for two reasons. One, you may like it and I have to do it again, and I'm not sure I can do it again. And the other is it may be taken wrong. But we will see. No volume. Someone's saying no volume. Oh, okay. There is volume. Yeah. So that would have been awkward. Yeah. So I've got the meter on. It says it's there. Okay. So I will take your Zoom class, but I have to wait until after mid-July. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I know there are more scheduled. I'm not releasing those dates yet. I want to get this batch out the way first. But it is something that I am going to do, dependent on the demands. You know, if the demand's there, then I'll absolutely do it. I love teaching, and if that means I've got to do it over here to reach you guys in the States, Canada, Australia, I think we had one from, then that is what I will do. Chris, hi Chris. Wow, it's been ages since you've been on, so that's great. Happy 4th of July from California. Just had a 6.4 earthquake this morning. Physical phenomena. I don't know. Is he joking? I don't know if you're joking. I hope everyone's all right. 6.4 is quite a big earthquake, ain't it? Wow, I hope everyone's okay. If that is real, I hope everyone is okay. And nice to see you on the live feed. And my apologies that I missed you while you were in the UK. I saw your post too late, and I would have definitely come and met you. Absolutely. That just jumped an incredible amount. I can't believe that. Wow. There, right, I'm back. So. Hearing loud and clear, yes. Love the forest videos, reminds me of home. I enjoy them. I have found a couple of new little forests there. And you know, I love it, but I don't want you guys getting bored. So I am going to do a trip shortly to London City. We're just going to shoot into the city centre. And I'll do a little bit of urban stuff, and I'll do a little bit more within the home, and just trying to mix it up a little bit for you. I know some of you are going to say we don't care where it's done. It's the content that we're after. But you know, I lost a few subs and I gained a couple. I lost a few, I gained a couple, and it's sort of like it's in the middle of something right now. I don't know what's going on, but it's keeping the majority of you happy. And I just don't want to do what these other channels are doing. I don't want to go down the love and light route and constantly talk about guides and decalcifying a third eye and what about the chakras. We're just making it difficult. So I try to keep it very, very simple for you to understand. But I do require your guys' input. You know, if I keep doing something that you're not liking, then you're gonna have to tell me you're not liking it, and I will give my reasonings behind why I've done it. Also, Raven, Fire, Phoenix. Why do spirits never give their names, yet they will give other accurate information? It's not that they don't give their names. I can use this bottle actually rather than drawing it. So as I move my mind to, let me change the camera. So who was that? Raven Fire Phoenix. What happens as I move my mind to the spirit communicator like this? It's filled with spiritual energy. They're not actually talking. I translate the energy in my mind into a vision or into an audible or into fill in the blank. And within that, some people find the names very, very freely. However, I personally, I've done names all week with the demonstrations I've just done this week, and then a couple of dems before that. Not a single name I looked for or got before, but I don't hold any value in the name. So if I show you that says Buxton Water, if I whipped that or if I took that and went and got my Coke can and I poured my water into my Coke can, that bloody leaks, into my Coke can, and the label, and I held up the Coke can and said, Raven Firefox, what is this? And you went, well, it's Coca-Cola. And then I poured it out and it's actually water. Then the label didn't make any sense, did it? There's no point of the label. And so the spirit world are more than aware and constantly trying to educate people that try and drop this idea of a label or a banner of one said thing. And so if the essence of mum is coming through and you're giving very accurate information about mum and her essence, then do you need the name of mum if you're doing everything else? Or would you prefer the name of mum, but actually the essence and all that's very generic and a load of nonsense? Which one would you prefer? And for me, in my own personal preference, I prefer the essence rather than a label. But that's just me. Maybe you think differently to me, which is absolutely fine. But that's why the spirit world, in the way that I work with them, sometimes I find a name, sometimes I don't even look for it. So that's my perspective. Okay. Venmo is good for payment on Zoom. Okay. Yeah, PayPal's doing all right at the minute, to be honest, Chris. I don't really want any more complications. The work that has gone into Zoom has been ridiculous, and I could not have done it without Carol's help or Miss Responsibility's help. I could not have done it. It was just so much under a very intensive diary that I have, and trying to squeeze all this in and learn a whole new program and how to do it was very stressful. But them two really helped me out. So I really don't need another way of paying right now. But thank you anyway. So general question: due to past lives, can it affect you in this life as a block to connecting to spirit? There's mixed views on that one, Champagne, and one that I have no doubt will trigger. There was a big whistle there, wasn't it? Trigger my inbox with past life regressionists. For me, no. When you're should have brought it down. Should have had it with me. So this is going to be the easiest way to show you here, Champagne. And I really don't mean to offend anyone, okay? Really, I don't. So I have no doubt that I will, but I don't mean to. It's not my intention. But your idea offends me sometimes, so ho-hum. So this is your life here, Champagne. This one right here. So let's say you got stabbed in the back. You had a big spear or something in your back when you were an Egyptian goddess or something like that. That's what people are usually, aren't they? If not, they were Jesus or some mythical figure. Who knows? Anyway, so let's say you've got that. You've got a stab in your back, and then you reincarnate. So this is your spirit, your overall spirit, and these are all your past lives that you are going through. And this one down here is champagne. This one right here. It makes no sense in the intelligence of the spirit world for the spear that killed you in this one up here to impact you in this life here. That doesn't seem intelligent to me. It makes sense to me that you've lived and learned from this experience here, and this one is a whole new journey. If you have to keep bringing forward all of these ways of dying and all the problems and health issues that you've got here, with all the lives that you may have, that, you know, the number is infinite, I imagine. How terrible is the last life gonna be? How, with all of that baggage going on, how terrible is that life going to be? And so an eternal progress don't seem like much fun to me. If you're constantly bringing baggage from a different one. So in my understanding, in my philosophy, no, absolutely no effects in this life from a past life that I have had. It's just my opinion. Just my opinion. So Charlie, it means you're moving your intention through the mind. Absolutely. It's just a thought. Just a thought. If I go spirit world, bang, it's there immediately. And I'm aware of. And I could literally do it. It's right. It's there immediately. The moment my mind goes there, there's someone there immediately. But that's because of the discipline that I have had in place. I constantly work this discipline. Not now. Leave me alone. I am not at work. Now I'm working. Here it is. And so I know that subtlety immediately. Don't you think practice helps with getting to know better what is you in your head versus spirit? All I can say, at times it feels different, spirit versus me in my head. It can. I've never been a huge fan of practice. Never. I've just never been a huge fan of it. Simply because if you, I have been in a classroom where they told me that I had to sit in my power to understand the spirit world. You know, learn my relationship and do this and do that. But beforehand, I have to protect myself in this white ball of light, and I have to ground myself completely. Make sure my feet are rooted into the ground, so nothing bad can happen. So let's take that as the example. And I'm in my first year of development. So then I go home and I practice this white ball of light. And I'm not feeling it and I'm not seeing it. So I've got to really think hard. I've really got to visualize it. So I really, really give it a lot of effort. And then it's like, oh, damn it, I forgot to root. I forgot to root off. So now I've got to go back in and get that white ball of light and root off again. And now I'm going to move my attention to the spirit world. Which I think I've been doing the whole time while I'm doing this, that, and the other. However, I've been doing it wrong. And so I can do 30 hours a week practice with no gain in mediumship because I was practicing the wrong thing. There literally should be no two communications the same. If I work with misresponsibility, you are so unique to you that when you enter my head and I'm doing mediumship, I should recognize that individual, right? Okay, here we go. I've got a lady here, blah, 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 blah. And then I work with Carol on the other one. At no point should them two communications feel the same, ever. Because Carol is a completely different woman to that of misresponsibility. Completely different to fill in the blank. So no two motions will feel the same. So you can't practice working with said communicator misresponsibility unless I'm constantly working with that in circle. So I would recognize the difference. So I would know, as your husband sits in front of me, I have your wife here. That's the only way that that's going to benefit. Other than that, I know absolutely with no doubt whatsoever, when my mind goes to the spirit world join me. Who have I got? A man, a woman, a boy, or a girl? And in that moment, that communication is unique. So no practice can be gained. The only reason you're practicing is to build your own confidence. There is something there that you are not happy with, or you don't feel fluent. There may be presentation it can work with, like constantly present in the spirit world, but the feeling should never be the same, never ever be the same, because they're so different. Everyone is so different. Your presentation will be your presentation. So maybe practice for that reason. But I'm never thinking that I'm in my own head. Never. Because I know my intention is that of the spirit world. That may sound really blunt, and I don't mean it to, but that's how I answer that. Sorry. Shell Flint, what is sitting in the power versus meditation? Meditation is a mind journey, so I'm making your brain very active. So as we walk through the meadow, you see a great big golden sunshine, and on the right there is a set of trees, and on the other far end is a hill. You're thinking about it. You're active within your mind, which is actually not what you want. If you go to the eastern part of the world, you're looking for silence of the mind, not active mind. So we've got meditation all wrong anyway, but they're £10 each. You can buy tons and tons of them online, whack someone's name famously on them, and they make a killing, so I know why they do it, but unfortunately other people don't know why they do it. So it's all a mind journey. Sitting in your power is sitting and saying, right, spirit world, here I am, the next 30 minutes is for you, and just allowing what goes on to go on. Maybe nothing, maybe a visual, maybe an array of colours, maybe a sound, maybe a sensitivity. That is sitting in your power and just acknowledging it, not paying attention to it, just acknowledging it, then moving on through it. Meditation is just a nice journey, sitting in a canoe, going down a river and meeting some random dude in a cave or whatever it is. So that's the difference. One is active, one is just sitting with intention. And that's it put very simplistically. Good evening, Mandy. Chris, okay, Charlie, we may have covered this. To what extent do you feel the attitude of the recipient of a spirit contact in either private or public setting affects the reading? So who's got the attitude? What extent do you feel the attitude of the recipient? Okay. I've got to think about that one, Good question. It depends, like, if they're very positive, then the reading seems to go very smoothly, doesn't it? I mean, you're an absolute veteran at readings. You have a good name out there in California, and so I think when it flows freely, the attitude is definitely playing a huge part in that, isn't it? So, and when they're awkward, all I do when they're playing me up is I go, hold on, I'll just go back and ask again. I'll just go back. And then I repackage it. And usually 95% of the time I can turn someone's attitude into someone accepting or being a little bit more free with it. It's very rare that the attitude takes over, but it does make it sticky. I would have to say it does, privately or publicly. It makes it sticky. And so when I do the communication triangle, which I've released a video recently, so that of the spirit, the medium, and the loved one, the communication triangle that I talk about is this here. So the medium here, I'll put me, and client there. The only thing that's breaking is that's not going to break, because I love the spirit world love me, the spirit world love the client loves the spirit world. So the only link is this one here that's going to have any kind of problem, and so I just work on this. I just try and make them at ease or anything like that. But do I feel it? I would have to say Yes, I would. I would have to say that. Do I let it affect me? Um, Very rarely. Very rarely. Lorraine, how has mediumship enhanced your own personal life? Also, being of service helped others. Oh, you just answered my question as I type this. How has it enhanced my life? It's turned it completely around. Completely around. Everyone that I used to know and hang around with, and built my life around, are no longer present in my life. I'm not that person anymore. I've completely changed over the years, and this gets refined a lot more as the more and more I do mediumship. I'm still refining this, so more and more from time to time, people come and go from my life, um, just simply because of the person I'm becoming, or have become. So it's completely turned my life around. I'm a lot more mindful of the life that they lead, or the shoes that they walk in, and I try to offset that. I try to be very mindful of that all the time, and a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people take on worries that are not their worries, and so on and so forth. I've learned now to, not completely, but I've learned to detach emotionally and mentally from that kind of scenario, and try and fulfill my mediumship a little bit better. Mediumship for me is every minute of every day. It's not just a hobby. It's all of the time. A spiritual journey is not me going to church once a week and pretending to be nice, and then going home and talking behind people's backs, or slagging them or slating them off, or starting or fueling rumor. This is something that there is a post somewhere, isn't there, that's do the right thing when no one's watching. I think that speaks volumes of someone's spiritual journey, how spiritual they are, not because they go to church a lot, or because they've got a spiritual title like a medium, or they have spiritual friends, or they visit spiritual schools, so on and so forth. Actually, your actions speak very, very loudly, don't they? So that's how it's enhanced my life. There's been some very, very hard times, some very, very hard decisions that I've had to make, or been forced upon me, and I wouldn't change one of them, not a single one, because I learned from them all, positively, and even the negative ones. I learned a massive lesson from them. So it's completely enhanced my life. Deborah, today I had grandma who gave me memories, message and more. Wrote it down, then got to circle, gave it to a sitter, took it, but then my connection just died. Suggestions? Because you've burnt it out. That's very, very simple. My first question to you would be, Deborah, why are you doing it at home? Why didn't you just wait till you got to the person in front of you? So what happens is it's like fuel. Um, so let's say the communication, for the purpose of the conversation, is limited, not by the spirit world, but by my mind. And I can only hold that for so long. And for every time I go in and I get information, or I converse, or I just double check, are you still there? Are you still there? And they are still there. That is taking up some of the fuel. So for every time I look, ask, feel, whatever with this connection, I take some of the fuel. So if I do that for an hour before class, or the sitting, or whatever, and I keep sipping from that bottle, eventually that bottle's going to run out. There's going to be no fuel left. And that is why it just died. That simple. Don't do it from memory. Don't hold on to it. Get one or two statements. That's it. No more. Then when you go into your class with your sitter, then say, I have your grandma here and she told me this earlier. However, I know she's here now. The mind moves into gear. Now you can start the conversation. Now we can get it on. You're burning fuel too quickly. Your videos are the best. Keep them coming on. Okay. I am trying. I'm getting more and more nervous the more and more do. Um, I have read Silver Birch, Red Cloud, and it is fantastic. I absolutely agree with you there. Absolutely, I love them. Very restrictive now. If I look back at them now, they're I see why they have fear. I see why they have fear. At last, a video online about time can not control the masses. At last, a video online about time cannot control the masses. Was it something I said? No joke. It was a big earthquake. Wow, wow, that's incredible. Wow. I'll have to have a little Google afterwards. As I said, I put a thought out there for all those people. I can't imagine how terrifying that is. Can't imagine. Yeah, wow. So all the healers in the group, we need a positive thought sent to California for their recent earthquake. I really hope everyone is safe. Such a shame. I'm waiting to see a squirrel on the video. Do you know, I'm waiting to see the bloody squirrel on the video. Do you know, you would not believe. I was chasing around this. You got to imagine it. Let me grab my camera. Never ever leave the camera. Never ever leave. Never ever leave it. Never leave the camera. It's very unprofessional, and there I am leaving the camera. Silly man. So here's me, right? So I'm running around. Here's the new lens that the PayPals have bought, or helped me buy. Cost a fortune, but the glass in it is absolutely amazing. So I'm running around the woods like this with the lens obviously, and there was thousands of them, thousands and thousands of these squirrels. They're running behind me. They're running like between my legs, and then they'd run up the tree, and then they'll jump down from the tree. They were everywhere. The moment I done this, that's me turning it on, poof, gone. Absolutely disappeared, absolutely from sight. And so the problem was I was out recording. It took me about 3 hours in the end, I think, in total. I had 2 batteries with me, and there's a mic that sits on top of this that runs off the battery also. So I've constantly got the LCD screen on as well. So I'm looking. So to leave it on just burns through the batteries, absolutely burns through them. And I've got 4 in my bag, and I'd already done 2 batteries. And so it was just like, this is insane. How many is there? So the next time I'm up there, I will. Who said that? Was that Lorraine? Lorraine, I will get you a squirrel online, and I'll just time lapse it until I find one. So I just record for an hour and then nab one. So that'll be next week at some point, I have no doubt. So I missed your question there, Jojo. Any ideas for exercises to use in circle, or am I being far too cheeky asking that here? I'm sorry if you just ignore me. And then I went on to ignore you. That's crazy, isn't it? But I didn't mean to ignore you. Any suggestions? My suggestion would be, think logically about what it is that you want to do. You know, like if you want to work more with the essence of the person, you want to get the passing conditions, then do 15-minute sit-ins, but you're only allowed to talk about the passing conditions. If it's something about personality, then just focus on that. And it will be difficult at first. It will be very hard. But as time goes on, you don't got to do it every week. You just rotate it. So if there's a section on memories, a section on just feeling, a section on just seeing, a section on just memories or just names, as someone asked earlier. These things just help you dial it in. So I would just, amongst you and your circle, what is it you want to get from a reading? Write it down, and when you write it down, there's all your classes right there. It's going to be very, very simple, very easy to design your classes. Hi, Charlie. On a one-to-one, this is Ian Robinson, by the way. So, hi, Charlie. On a one-to-one reading, do you often get specific questions from the sitter that they want you to ask the spirit world that is present, or do you only pass on the evidence you are given from spirit? For me, I only pass on times throughout my career when someone has sat down and wanted to ask a very specific question. I don't have a problem with answering if I have the answer. If I get the answer, then I'm comfortable asking it. But I usually let the spirit world talk about what they want to talk about first. And you know, a lot of the time, I would say most of that, if I've had 20, I would say 16 of them, they answered the question that was waiting to be asked throughout the sitting. So I tend to leave it to them. But do I have a problem? I don't have a problem with it, but I would if it was happening every reading. Then I think I would have a little bit of an issue. But you know, from time to time, I don't see if I get the answer ethically, morally, how I'm working, where I'm working, the purpose of the question. I'm very comfortable to say no if it's no. I don't know. I've no idea. Or your dad makes me aware that I should be saying this, and I don't have a problem with it. I just wouldn't do it all of the time. So Helen, hi Helen, hope you're feeling a little bit better today. So nice to see that you joined us, even though it's a little bit late, but you know, any time's good for me. So well done, thank you for joining us. And it would be very kind of everybody if they would just put Helen in their healing thoughts. Helen's had a little bit of a rough ride with her health lately. And she could do with a little bit of upliftment. So if everyone could just take 2 seconds out of their day and think about Helen Gear as a healing thought, I'm sure she will benefit from it, because as we all know, the healing thoughts are probably the most powerful thoughts. So I thank you on behalf of Helen in advance. Patricia, I like your style, Charlie. Thank you very much. I like your comments, Patricia. Just seen breaking news about... Oh, that's you talking about that. Okay. Okay. No one got hurt in the earthquake. Haven't seen the news yet. Okay. But happy 4th of July to all American friends here. That's Helen. There are some people on here from California, all nice and safe, thankfully. Any crows? You and your bloody white crow. Do you know, one day, do you know what? I'm gonna get After Effects, and I'm gonna turn a black crow into a white crow and just dump it on a branch somewhere with Photoshop within one of my windows, videos, not windows. Do you know, it's going to be worth the purchase just on a trial to do it. Hi Xander, nice to see you on. Jojo, so true, Charlie. I've been working with my own way of connecting to spirit, then was taught about sitting in the power. Oh, what a block I created, and I was trying so hard to get it right. My point exactly there, Jojo. M. Lansing, thanks, Helen. I'm hoping rain doesn't come. Kids really want to see the fireworks. Yeah, I bet they do. Fireworks are cool, aren't they? Especially, I can imagine the atmosphere in America tonight would be a rather good one. Patricia, sitting in the power should bring us into the higher frequency. Meditation doesn't make sense to bring us higher. Music and group enthusiasm works better. Do you agree? I absolutely agree. Just we haven't even got to raise the vibration, you know, or the frequency. The intent will take you there. The intent of working with the spirit world does that. Meditation is a passive state. So it's very different. So I totally agree with you there, Patricia. Jojo, then I saw your video on how to connect, and guess what? That's what I had been doing naturally. Surprise! Miss Responsibility, do you feel in your observations or experience that mediums who have developed well in terms of spiritually and with self-development have better relationship and communication with spirit? I do think that. I think I can see a well-built foundation. I do. But I've also seen very well-developed mediums let their name, their power, and their presence become a little bit overwhelming in their world, and they've used it in a manipulative way, especially across things like social media, to get other people onto their idea. And so I am a little bit wary of that now, because I got stung a little while ago with big names. But, you know, my day will come when I have my names, and will I take the opportunity to dig that person out? I think it just means I resort to their level. So no, I think my mediumship, I'll always let it do the talking. And from there, you either like it or you don't. You want teaching or you don't. You want to talk, you want to join live feeds or you don't. I'm kind of going to leave it to them. I'm not going to make it this dangling carrot or think I'm above anyone. Every single one of you in this room, I want you to outdo anything I've ever achieved in mediumship, simply because if you can do that, then I can do it. Yeah, and that means raising the bar. And if the bar goes up, then that's great for the spirit world, because it shows that quality will shine through any kind of skepticism or foul handling of the spirit world's name. So I want you to go and be megastars, superstars if need be, to get that out there. And that will just be, I will feel like I've contributed in some way to helping the spirit world have their voice. Cool, great input there, Miss Responsibility. I will get a crow just for you at some stage in the video. Cannot promise it'll be a white one unless we use Photoshop. So I literally just said that, didn't I? Raven Phoenix, does free will exist? Yes, it does. I argue with the spirit world all the time. So I see your argument. Synchronicity suggests otherwise. I met someone I haven't heard for 25 years. Right after talking about the person for hours, he was the taxi driver that picked me up at 10 minutes later. Absolutely. I get what you're saying, but I think the free will aspect, if we're walking down a path, let me... Raven Firefox, I don't recognise your name. I apologise if you have been on here a number of times, but I don't recognise it. So let me draw it this way. And that looks like a creepy hand, doesn't it? That looks weird. Sorry about that. I don't want to give anyone nightmares. But let's say this is me. I'm on my path and I'm going about my day. And well, let's take your example. You're talking about your friend for hours, and pathway A lets you go down this road, and he picks you up as your taxi driver. But the other pathways that could have led into that in different ways of meeting. So this is the free will aspect. You have a choice within the choices that you have made for yourself. So the natural law of cause and effect, everything that goes on in your world is only in your world because that they're the ingredients, or that's the way the pathway has led you, and the choices that you have made in life have led you exactly to that point. And so the spirit world always say to me, Charlie, the timing is never wrong. It's never ever wrong. And I think I get what they mean now. I know it's never wrong because it happens at exactly when it's meant to, through the ingredients that I provide. However, that free will aspect is I have a choice. I have a choice whether to turn left or right out of my turn in here. 90% of the time I will turn left, but one day I'll choose to go right. And that's the free will bit within that. Hopefully that makes sense. Charlie just explained my whole town. Cool. Where did that go? Hold on. Oh, that's it. As I cultivate my own nature, all else. Absolutely. I myself have always hated gossip and always tried to do the right thing. I feel it's within ourselves to be kind. It's our own journey. Yeah, and look, listen, Lorraine, it's not to say that I didn't make mistakes or I didn't get it wrong, but things change, people change, and what you don't need is people like 3, 4, 5 years later still talking about something that happened maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and adding fuel to it because everything's gone quiet for a little while. So what we'll do is we'll unearth the demons that once were, and bring them back to the forefront. And just in that one particular example, this is a leading therapist in a very mindful technique that is being taken across the globe. And she's out there talking nonsense about me and my relationships and about this woman don't even know about my relationships. This is like coming third hand. And so these things annoy me. They kind of annoy me. But to resort to it or give it any fuel, like this is giving it fuel, it just keeps it alive in some way, doesn't it? And so, you know, I think, you know, as we grow, I think we know that inbuilt system tells you you did the right thing, or you know what, you really need to apologize there. And where you can, apologize where you can. And obviously, sometimes you can't. Maybe the time has come and gone, or whatever. I mean, the ingredients that we can add to this scenario are immense. They're infinite. But I think, you know, try to do the right thing. Try to do the right thing. And as Chris rightfully said there, as he cultivates his own nature, everything else follows. And for me, I totally agree with that. I think that's a great statement. I think we have to steal that. So quickly copyrighted, Chris. Whack a poster up on Facebook with a copyright sign, because I just want to steal it. I just want it. That's really good. I love it. You love animals. I think I love animals as well. I'd love a dog right now. I'd love to get a dog. Well, I'm there. It jumped again. Okay, we're back. Found it. So everyone's sending Helen nice messages. So I'm sure she thanks you. I'm sure she does. Steve, you just put a full stop there. You didn't do anything. So Charlie, please, can you tell me the best place to get tickets for your upcoming event in Colchester, end of July? I don't actually know. So hold on, let me because I do have a contact on Facebook, and I shouldn't be on my phone. Her name is Cheryl Darnell. And I'm sure there'll be tickets left anyway. Whoever asked for that, Ian, I'm sure there'll be tickets left. It's for a charity. I'm really looking forward to that one. But it should be on Facebook. Carol's actually saying that in the comments there. Do you believe that it's not appropriate to call on a specific person in spirit for the sitter, or do you just only allow whoever comes through for the sitter? No, I've got no problems with calling someone. It's a oneness. The spiritual philosophy is a oneness. So if we take the spirit world as a oneness, and then I'm just connecting down here up to there, then I've got no problems going to get that person. It's not like they're busy. It's not like they're at their job, or they're having a nap or anything like that. Time is man-made. So I've got no problems with doing that. And the reason I do that is because, let me give you an example, is that, let's say I've got a 4-year-old boy that arrives with me now, and he died of a very rare cancer. When mum goes to a medium, the medium's safety within their mind will go for nana or granddad or mum or dad or an uncle or whatever, anything but the 4-year-old boy. And so I will do it to order in that sense. And of course, the 4-year-old boy would turn up for his mum, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to let mum know that he's okay. He is in a place of oneness, and so on and so forth. So I personally have no problem with doing communication to order, none whatsoever. But I understand that opinion is very split. And that, everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's my opinion. But yeah, each to their own, whatever, I never got a communication from my sister for years and years, until I started running classrooms, actually, when some students would be brave enough to do it. All the mediums I went to always brought through a nan that I never got on with. Which just makes no sense to me. Why ain't my sister coming? Why ain't she coming? but the medium's mind is in play. They don't want to talk about an 18-year-old girl because they'd rather take the safety option of that of a upper 70, early 80 year old lady. As I said, just my opinion. What do you think of karma? I think. Are you asking me if it exists? I think you're accountable for absolutely everything: your thoughts, your actions, your motives, your deeds, everything. You're accountable for absolutely everything that you do within this life. Absolutely everything. And I use that as the karma. So that for me is karma. The law is perfect. You will not get away with anything whatsoever. Ever. It's absolutely perfect. So that's what I think of karma. So that's why I try and do so much good to erase. To erase the bad that I did in my youth. Like, go away, bad past. Go away, all those things that I did that was naughty. What I'll do is I'll try and do things from the heart. I try and help people. I try and guide people. I try. I really try. And I mean to try as well. It's not like just like some act that I'm doing. Yeah. That's what I think of karma. Deborah says, I would like to know, is it imperative to take a year-long set of classes? The more I try to learn from others, the more messed up I get. Unfortunately, you will find that. And I constantly, I almost beg students, like, please don't go down this avenue of working with one tutor, then working with another tutor, then working with another one. And don't mistake what I'm saying there. I'm not saying come to me, come to my class. I'm saying if I'm not your teacher, that's absolutely fine. I've got no problems with it. But do not mix up philosophies. Do not use this one, then that one, then that one, then that one. Because you end up in an absolute mess. You end up in a worse place than you originally started. And 90% of the time, I can bring someone in brand new, never connected to the spirit world before. And on that first day, I can get them to run a communication better than someone that's had 3 or 4 years of multiple bad teaching. And so I always say to them, please just pick one and find your own philosophy from there. But they don't listen, do they? You know, maybe one of them's famous, maybe one of them's kind, maybe one of them's their friend. And they just constantly jump between these, just confusing the hell out of themselves and causing their mediumship damage, which is really infuriating because they've invested so much money into it. And here we are at stage 1 still, for example. So, yeah, I really, if there was one bit of advice that I could give on development, that would probably be it. If I had to narrow it down, that would be it. Do not go round the houses. It does you no good. Ian, hi Carol. I'm not on Facebook, but heard about the event a while ago. Thank you. I would just turn up, Ian. And if you just remind me about this live feed and the name that you are, you will be in at that event. All right. So just turn up and I will make sure, absolutely, sell out or not, you will be in there. Okay. So problem solved. M. Lansing, would spirit ever step in out of nowhere to voice an escalating situation? Maybe to calm someone down, or are they not into doing all that? I heard something like this yesterday. I think the I'm not sure how I would draw it, but I think I've got the address. I think the spirit world, as I said, it's every minute of every day, and I think the guide. I've drawn it like this. It's obviously so you understand. I think they constantly impress us with the idea, the right thing to do. So a situation escalating, absolutely. They'll be trying to say, don't do it that way. You know, that's going to make matters worse. Don't react like that. But you know what it's like when you've got the ump, when things have gone wrong, you've gone nah, and absolutely exploded. You're human. It's okay. It's human. You're human. Things like that happen. And I'm certain that let's take a really bad scenario, you know, someone that's going to blow up a building and kill hundreds or thousands of people. I'm absolutely certain that the spirit world are constantly trying to get into that mind in whichever way they can to say, please don't do this, please don't do it. But they're so detached from the spirit world that at no point are they aware, at no point is that going on. And just look at that from that angle. That shows you how the spirit world can't harm you. Because if they would, they wouldn't let the bomb be planted, would they? They would get in the way of the car that's about to hit a child that's running to the road and move them out of the way. They would do that, wouldn't they? But they can't. They can't make us do anything. They literally cannot make you do anything at all. They can only offer the guidance. And so that will ripple loads of philosophies the world over, just with that one example. Kerry, hi Kerry, thanks for joining us this evening. Right, just jumped again. Lorraine, we have all made mistakes. That's okay. Made us cry. Absolutely. Why are only 6 liking this lovely program? Because out of all the people that are in here, probably there's less than half of you that have commented, and less than half of you are probably subscribed, and less than half of you are probably only watching to see what I'm doing or what I'm up to, but they don't want me to know that they're in here. That happens also. So, and if you just watch over at the watching number now, you'll watch it decline. But that's unfortunately, yeah. Well, because that's the spiritual community, I'm afraid. It is what it is. I can't help that. Anyway. So we've all made there. Okay. So Xandar, Helen, just a thought. Buy flowers of some colours you love and let the flowers heal you. I got flowers when I thought of you. Hope it can help. We'll send healing to as well. That is really nice, Xandar. I really like that idea. Buy flowers in the colour that you like and they will give you healing. I absolutely love that idea. What an amazing idea. Kerry, Charlie, what do you do when you feel you no longer have a link to spirit? I know you say move the mind, they are there. I do this and say I'm the best, but I still no longer feel or hear them. Thank you. The idea is that so another way of doing it, Kerry, and I understand that some people may read that wrong or have heard what I've said that wrong. So I am someone that will definitely promote, like, in your head, get in a place of positivity. And so Kerry's saying that, like, I'm really good at this, I can do this, I can be the voice of the spirit world. That is why she's worded it that way. So I totally understand where she's coming from. I just don't want people going, cool, who does she think she is? Because I know the spiritual community and I know how they react. So just in case anyone was thinking that, that is why she has worded it that way. But the idea is that you can lose it, Kerry. And just that one ingredient in the mixing bowl, which I doubt very much you have watched that video yet, because you wouldn't ask that question if you had recently watched it, is that the ingredient that you're putting in is the potential to lose the link. And because you have the idea that you can lose it, you're losing it. In no stretch of my imagination, in my belief system, in my development, anything whatsoever, in no way, shape or form would the spirit world, while getting a voice, an accurate voice, and speaking to the client in front of me and getting their story across, do I ever believe that they would go, nah, I'm out, see you later, and off they go. At no point does that enter my head. And so I know the link won't break. I know the link won't disappear or go anywhere. Only doubt, only self-consciousness, only the idea presented by the mind, in this case, you, allow that to happen. So refuse it. Don't allow it. Personal responsibility under the spiritual principle. Number 5. You're allowing it to happen. Just remove the permission for that to happen, and that will fix it very, very easily for you. So there's the thanks and stuff coming in. Okay, so when someone puts a bump in house as a loved one who passed, do you think it's them doing it so for comfort, or could really be loved one getting their attention? This question is for a friend watching. Okay, so it can be. So if I'm so desperate to hear from someone and I'm like, rattle the door, rattle the door, rattle the door, and I think this week after week after week after week, eventually the door's going to rattle. So my energy can make that happen. However, can it be your loved one actually doing that? Absolutely. It can absolutely be. Can I tell you how to tell the difference? Not like this, no. So if your mind goes, oh my god, that's my loved one getting my attention, then that is a beautiful thought anyway, isn't it? And I wouldn't want to tarnish that thought in any way. If there's a knock or a glass moves or whatever, and immediately your thought goes, oh my god, this is my husband, or oh my god, this is my mum or my dad or my brother or my sister. If your immediate thought goes there, then that is amazing. And I don't feel like I should take anything away from that episode that happens there. So if your mind went there, friend, then I would accept it as your loved ones. And if it is, then it may have a frequency to it. I mean, like, it may happen a little bit more regular for you to understand that it is them. So I would embrace the moment if that's what happened for your friend, and accept it for what it is. Don't try and fit logic or science or anything around it. Just embrace the moment. Gal, geez, I was trying to learn from different people and take what I resonate with from their teaching. Yeah, that's not so much of a problem, Gal. So one piece of advice I would say is go and watch a very good medium and go and watch a very bad medium. You know, however they got them labels is irrelevant, because you'll learn as much from those people how you don't want to present, how you do want, can I do that? Am I able to do that? I definitely don't want to do that. That's not a problem. What I mean is, don't go to Circle on Tuesday night where the Circle are saying like protection. Let's do protection. Let's work with the white ball of light or the gold light of love. And then on the next circle that you're doing, which just happens to be Wednesday night, you're going with a much more advanced group, and that advanced group are like, as the spirit joins me from the mist, and then goes down that kind of route. You're kind of like, what on earth are you doing? So you're doing grounding on one, and then you're talking about a mist on another, and then on Saturday you're doing a workshop with another tutor, and this tutor is saying like, you know, you got to smudge the premises and you don't want to do this, and my philosophy is that. Then you don't know where you're at. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's going on. And then all three of them will advise you on something like Kerry's question. You know, like that one tutor will say, like I feel like I no longer have the spirit. So one tutor would go, well, maybe you lost it, maybe you wasn't grounded or you wasn't connected enough. And then another tutor will say, what you need to do is search for it, make sure it's there, and go over the statements that you've got and go back through the whole scenario. And then there's me going, but you're doing it, Kerry. You know, you've added that ingredient into the bowl. You're accepting that you can lose a link that is infinite, that is a oneness that surrounds you, that is omnipresent every minute of every day. Then for me, that's a no-brainer. And I get it because it's me saying it, but that's a no-brainer to which one of them sounds like it's right. But if you've got three tutors that are telling you three different ways, you're going to be confused. So with a pinch of salt, I would say, Gail. You know, but who am I? I mean, who am I to tell you any different? You know, it's your choice. I just don't want you sort of going down a wasted path. That's the point. That let the spirit world do it. So I would say in my own development, I would say, right, Spirit World, you've got 1 hour tonight or Monday night, whatever night it is, and what do you want to bring forward? And through that, just through that clearance of my mind, the Spirit World would maybe take me on a colour journey. Now that may seem like, what on earth are you talking about, a colour journey, Charlie? But I learned a whole range of colours, whether it be a clear red, a dark red, a cloudy red, and this may be for like auric reading, or learning when someone is unapproachable because they're in a state of anger, and that was just through colour. And I would do that 1 hour every week with my spirit team. So I would put out the intention for them, and then as you grow comfortable with that, I'm not saying demand it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that you can have a suggestion with it. You know, maybe I can do this, or maybe we can try that. But don't make it a demand as such. But you're part of a team, and your voice is part of that team. It's a quality. And I see far too many mediums jumping on like Facebook and YouTube and preaching this like evolved spirit, the spirit world in every sense of the imagination come through and talk about equality. So you'll have like physical mediums talking mechanics on mental mediumship, and then that's like me talking about physical mediumship when I'm a platform demonstrator 4 nights a week, and telling them how to do it or how they're getting it wrong. And so I think rather than getting the bat and ball kind of tennis scenario here and me digging them out and them digging me out, I think do what's right for you. You know, your relationship is your relationship. The one I'm expressing is the one that I went through that has been very successful for me. So I would recommend that you offer suggestions what you want to learn, and also let them show you. They are the best teachers. They are the ones that are going to guide the way properly, for your style of mediumship. So I would try that, Claire. So Deborah, I love your way when you say what. So when will you do an online mentorship program? Whole day programs are not possible. Have signed up for the workshop of yours and looking forward to it and hope to do more. I'm not sure. You know, the workshops are definitely available, from that scenario. A mentoring program is imparting a huge amount of knowledge. So if you're going to commit to a mentoring program, then the workshops are definitely the line to go down. What will happen is there will be a core group from that online workshops, and from that online core group, I will teach to that level. So in effect, it will become a mentoring program in its own right. So I would sign up for the workshop. And if you can't make the last hour or the last 2 hours, then just let us know, and we can sort something out for you, where we can sort of let you escape. But yeah, so speak to me and admin, and something can be arranged. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you can get there, then all of it's mentoring. Mentoring is just receiving guidance from someone of experience in an educational way. That's what mentoring means. Yeah, we'll see. I don't need any more ideas right now. I feel the admin just, yeah. So is the quality all right? The quality looks a little bit ropey there, you know. I'm not. No, it looks all right on that camera. I don't know what's going on with that one. Okay, so where did we get to? Sorry, got a dash. Okay, as we're an hour ahead. Oh, you're in Spain. Okay, thanks so much, and we'll catch the rest of the recording. I am super excited because I'm over in October, and there is a workshop. Awesome. Look forward to meeting you. Can you teach clairsentience? I believe I can, but I can't make you feel what's coming. So I can kind of go, look over there. Now look over there. So you're constantly searching for the feelings. I'm a bit of a nightmare actually. and wherever I go, I touch everything. You know, like I'm very tactile. Love touching absolutely everything. I get my fingers in the nooks and crannies. So like when I'm in like New York or I'm in London, them cities are absolutely filthy. So by the end of the day, my hands are black. You know, where I've been touching everything and getting the textures of the cities. That is something that very much dials in the sensitivity of clairsentience. Hope to come over next year. We'll seek you out. Absolutely, and I'm planning on going your way. So you better not do it at the time, so we both cross over. That would be absolutely insane. Um, First time here. Socket wrench me in. I'm a troll. Awesome. So that's straight out. That's unbelievable. You just straight out with that. I'm a troll. Awesome. That would be great. Yeah, perfect. Oh, that just jumps a massive amount there. Wow. There. So, Timothy, this has too much salt. Next one has too much water. Oh, wow. That third bowl of oatmeal is so correct. Okay, yeah, I recognise you. I actually recognise you now. Perfect. That's a perfect analogy, but no one understands what it is that you're how you've worded that. So the way he's done it is that's how we work with the communication, the mixing bowls that we put there. We constantly try, and the third one being absolutely correct. So I thank the troll for your positive input. That's very, very kind of you. So Miss Responsibility, you have said that spirit is opportunists. Oh, I can't say that word. Can you explain this further? Does it mean the spirit will try to communicate with anyone despite if we think the medium is unethical or bad? I think they will try and communicate with their loved ones. Absolutely. The guiding influence would obviously try and penetrate that mind at any given time, any minute of any day. I think they absolutely would. I don't think they would cause problems. I think that influence would slow down if things like schizophrenia were being checked. Because they're petrifying the person, you know. So I don't think the spirit world would do that. But if they saw an opportunity, you know, like I am very mindful of the spirit world, and Miss Responsibility, you're very mindful of the spirit world, and you're accepting, and I'm accepting. Then in that moment, you know, maybe I'm sitting at my computer, then absolutely something just overwhelms me to contact you on inbox and go, I have this overwhelming sense of da, 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 da. And you go, oh my god, that is literally what has happened, or my scenario right now, and I'm aware that your mum or your father is telling me this. Then I think they would take that opportunity, ethically or not. I think they would do that. I think that's it. You know, a medium. If a medium says, I have your mum here, and your mum is in the spirit world and she says hi, that feeling that I get from the spirit world is immense. I mean, it's so hard to give it language. And so, you know, because I don't really like saying it, but there are many bad mediums out there for many, many reasons. But they still connect to the spirit world. They still have that ability to move the mind to that of the spirit world. And that is where I always warn, you know, like natural law, the law is perfect. So you may manipulate this situation now. However, you're gonna see what damage that done at some point. So I don't think they sort of bombard you. I think it's here now, every minute of every day. That's why I can maybe band it as opportunist. Because it's there all the time. It's just our mind sort of slips and finds it. I think that's kind of what it is. I would need a little bit more thought on that, but kind of where I think is it. So, Rich, if you get a message that spirit misses the sitter, should you say it? I'm not sure the spirit do miss the sitter. I'm not sure they do. That sounds terrible. I appreciate that. But the spirit world are omnipresent. They're there. they're in this room without the physical aspects of it. You know, I can't see them right now, or because they don't have a physical body. But so they're not actually missing anything. The only thing they maybe miss is the touch, the physical touch of someone. That would be the one thing that they miss. Would they say that? It's not very often I would get that, if I'm honest with you. But I don't see a problem in saying that. You know, if they miss them. My only concern with it is if I've got a boyfriend of someone, you know, I've got a young lady in front of me and I've got her boyfriend coming to communicate, and they were doing things they shouldn't have been doing, like heroin or something like that, and he accidentally overdosed, or he took his own life, something like that, you know. And then that comes through in a message, you know, like, I miss you so much, I miss you so much. My only concern there is that young lady may interpret that wrong, for them to say, come and join me, overdose, take your own life, do whatever. That's my only concern with that. So, you know, I'm racking my brain to see if I've ever said that, and I'm not sure I have. I'm not sure that has ever come through. And for me, it makes sense why that hasn't come through. But, you know, that would be my only concern. So I'm a little bit on the fence with that one. That is a great question. I'm really going to have to think about that. Yeah, we'll see. I may get back to you. Steve, hi Charlie, doing a great job with your no-nonsense approach, making new waves in some quarters. I hope so. That is the purpose. I may update the channel art and the message that it's giving, you know, because I think some people don't know what they're sort of they're coming in for. So I get the sub, but they like something, and then I offend them, and then off they go. So I just want to make it very clear before they press the sub button, they know what they're getting. So, but very kind of you. Thank you very much. Rich says, I know they really don't miss them. It may be for the sitter to hear. And if that was the case, maybe, let's say the spirit world know that. You know, they are intelligent. They know what's going on. And maybe that is a wonderful statement that we can uplift a client with. Then again, I would have no problem with saying that. Maybe it is the one thing that they want to hear. So yeah, I see your point there, Rich. I think I just need to sit with it. I'm just racking my brain trying to work out if I've had it. So, cool. Tim says, I'm certainly not evolved. We all started somewhere, Tim. Today can be the day if you choose it to be the day. It hasn't got to be all magical, or you have to go through some weird portal or anything like that. Just a thought, just one good thought, more than normal, and that starts the evolving. So let's hope you make the right decisions. Chris, okay, Charlie, do you think doing a public dem, having a number of developed mediums in the room, would be an asset to your demonstration? Absolutely not. They're the worst recipients in the world, mediums. Absolutely not. If I can have a room full of mediums, or a room not a single medium, I'll take the one with no mediums every single time. Mediums are the worst clients in the world. They are a nightmare. Yeah, Kerry, thank you, Charlie. I agree. Makes me feel like walking away. And you know, I've done a video about walking away. And I obviously hope you don't. I obviously hope you don't. It's one of those things. I would maybe bin off a couple of the classes, or a couple of the philosophies that you are that you're working with. Work with one. Yeah. So we'll see. My lack of attention span is appalling by Tim. That's okay. That's okay. No one's judging you for that. And maybe in time it will grow. Walking away, appreciate your video as always. I appreciate your comments and you joining me as always, Kerry. Also, Chris Gordon Higginson often said he used to draw the power from the people in the congregation. If I'm doing a big dem, Chris, it's not uncommon for me to start drawing on the power of the room. That would be the congregation. And for 2, 3, or 4 of them at the front to sort of get heavy-eyed and be falling asleep. That's not uncommon. Why everyone's absolutely laughing their heads off and that sort of stuff. I've got 2 people that will fall asleep, and it's because I'm drawing on that now. Always later in a demonstration, especially the long ones. So Tim says, curious about it, read up on it, but I'm just terribly obsessed as a fictional / writer. A Timothy Roth actor, face me, television crime sitcom, almost. Again, there's, those kind of minds that you have there is not something that is bad. You're making it sound like this is a flaw with you in some way. This isn't a flaw. This is something that can be used in a positive way. Something that can be used in a very unique way. So absolutely no negativity or downplay on that. You are who you are, and I take you for who you are. And from there, we grow together in that moment. That hasn't got to be all love and light or unicorns and rainbows. That's just the way it is. One day at a time. That's all people are asking from you. So your mum would pretty much say something creepy, but in reality, mental disorder. Can't tell the difference between the living or the dead as a defined line. Yeah, and again, with a little bit of training, that would be fine. If there's an actual mental disorder, I'm not a doctor. I don't know the subject enough to offer advice there. But if it is actually sanity, you have a sane mind, then I have absolutely no problem with walking hand in hand through an exercise, etc. Miss Responsibility, do you think delivery of a message of a communicator is a mechanic like other things in mediumship that needs to be developed? Absolutely. It absolutely cracks me up. I can get some people to do a message no problem, and others can't. That they can just go, they love you, they want to, they miss you, that kind of stuff. They can do a message no problem. Others completely struggle. So absolutely, it needs to be developed like any other facet within your mediumship. Do you believe it's easier for children to connect with spirit world, as so many people will say? I only believe it because they're not conditioned by society. They're not worried about what car they've got on the drive, whether they own a house and what clothes and how much money they've got in the bank. A child is a child. Their imagination is wild and they have no problems. So in that sense, absolutely very easy for them to do it. What they will lack is the life experience that will go that will make it easier. Children are unfiltered, absolutely. Helen, I'm glad you like the thought. Cool. Hi, Charlie. Just wanted to say hi, everyone. Special thank you to Charlie for your support. Thanks very much, Lillian. You're learning. You are learning. That's it. It's cool. And we're at the end. There you go. Wow, I can't believe we got to the bottom of them. I never thought I was going to get there. So let me have a drink. This is the last bits for you. So if there's any more you want to get in, then get them in. So, Miss Responsibility, a follow-up question on the message. How do you teach message giving? It's like, eh? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Carol just worded into my ear there. You probably heard it. You will find out in circle. We'll find out in the group. So what happens is, I'll give you a very small way of doing it now. So you see what I mean. What happens? Let me change the camera. So what happens is we get the message. Our mind, we've done our communication, we've done the evidence. It gets to the point of the demonstration of mediumship, whether that be publicly or in a private one-to-one sitting. And then what happens is we get that feel for the message, and then that will come down. And what will happen is it will be something that's been said in the reading through the evidence, or it will be loaded with a particular word. And so I'll just use love as the example. And then what will happen is, as we express this word is loaded with information, which will then lead on to the next part of the message, and so on and so forth. They're like segments. And so what will happen is, it may be a reading of no self-belief, no self-confidence. They're going through a divorce, and life is upside down right now, and the message from their loved ones is love, and about how connected they are, and about the actual support network they have if they look beyond the immediate, and so on and so forth. But that needs developed, like you would go from the description of a communicator into the personality of the communicator, into the memories of the communicator. The message is the same way, usually springboarded off of one word. Usually, not all the time, but usually. Oh wow, that coming quick. It comes to haunt you. This is how it feels. I totally agree with you, Tim. But with a little bit of understanding, I know that you have found the channel now. There are lots of videos there that can stop that haunting feeling. It will give you an understanding of how the mechanic works. Very kind of you, Xander. Love the channel and your answers. Thank you, Medium, and thank you as a person. Don't want to scare anyone, but can you be unwittingly possessed? Absolutely not. Personal responsibility, everything that goes on, and I can't sign off of a live feed with that as the final question. So, but everything that goes on within your zone, within your auric field, whatever comes in here is personal responsibility. Anything at all requires a permission, and so if you give it permission, at that point, possession is not intelligent, it's a fear manifesting, so no possession can take place there. So you're not scaring anybody, Raven. No, not for me, Tim. We would know. The medics would know. I work with King's College a couple of times a year. And you can definitely tell the difference between a medium's mind and someone that would be going through a psychotic episode. Have I ever relayed messages from pets? I did it once in one class where I was under the banner of the Tony Stockwell studio, and my tutor at the time, Natalie, had lost her dog. And as a class, we did the communication with her dog. So the dogs have personalities, don't they? So you express it through the evidence of the personality. Message, not a message, but the expression of the animal. What happened there? Oh wow. Hello, first time here via recommendation on YouTube. Cool, that's awesome. So during energy work on my clients, as they open up more, can more messages from spirit come through for them? The more willing they are, the freer it feels. Absolutely. As a general, if they're very sticky and they're very resistant, I mean, even if you're trying to give someone a massage, and they're very resistant, that massage is hard to administer, isn't it? It's very difficult. Whereas if they're very open to the idea and they're relaxed about it, then the massage becomes easy and they get a lot of benefit from it. This is exactly the same. Universal Soul, how so many people talk about starseeds, and is this just fiction? I don't think it's fiction. I think we can maybe bracket it a little bit better than that. It's absolute delusion is what it is. So that's what I would put that there. Egotistical. Chris says in the 80s or the 90s, there was a surge of spiritual centres opening up around the UK. Is that still the case? There's over 1,000 spiritual centres in the UK now. A lot of them are closing now because they can't keep the numbers there. The poor quality that we see, and people hitting platform way too early, rushing to get there, as Miss Responsibility raised earlier, has resulted in poor quality. And the moment a congregation gets poor quality, they'll stop supporting the church. The church then shuts the door. So there was a huge surge. I think it's every now and again a new one opens, but I think more are closing than they are opening. Enjoyed the live feed. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and hopefully we see you back, Tim. So make sure you look after yourself. And any questions, you are free. They are there. The videos are up on YouTube, and you can engage with the videos. And if I can help you, I will absolutely help you, like I help as many as I possibly can. Is there any signs of progress for total beginners? Is there any signs of progress for total beginners? You know, I reckon it was 2 years before I saw any kind of progress in my own journey. It's not until you think back of the first time I did this, the first time I did that, and what about that you realise how much growth there is. But you'll be progressing all the time. You just won't notice it because we're insanely difficult on ourselves, aren't we? Great live show. Thank you, Rich. Thanks for joining the live show. Thank you very much. No problem, Helen. Thank you so much. Just what I thought. Thank you for confirming this for me and my clients. Cheers to you. So glad I stumbled upon your stream. Thank you for joining me. All of those that are watching, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe because that helps the channel. Comment on the channel. Like the video when it goes on replay. All of that kind of stuff. I need you to do all the things us YouTubers ask you to do. I have that new video coming out tomorrow. There is a huge backlog. If there's anything that you haven't seen, you know, you can go back there. Equally, I've got my little book of ideas that if you want, and this is my viewers book, and any video ideas that you want done, I write in here, and then as I get them done in conjunction with my own agenda, I score them off. So any ideas, any questions, pop them on a video or in the community tab on the channel, and I will do my absolute best to get it done and recorded for you in any way that I can. For all of those that are going to watch this on the live feed, don't forget about the PayPal. If you do fancy doing a contribution to the channel, then there are PayPals in the comments that you can see. For all those that have done it and contributed to the channel, my absolute gratitude to you. And because of that, I can keep the videos coming, the live feeds going, so on and so forth. So you are just as much appreciated from this side of the camera. So for now, I'm going to, I'll answer your question at another time there, M Lansing. I'm going to call it a day. It's just at 2 hours now, and I am melting. Thank you all for joining me. I will leave the ads on for about 10 seconds, where if there's any workshops or Zoom classes or you need the website, anything like that you're interested in, have a look. Please talk about the channel, share the channel, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, all the things for the channel, and I'll see you all tomorrow with tomorrow's latest uploads. For now, keep safe, look after yourself, and I'll see you next time.